Good evening, everyone. If you could please take a seat. We are ready to start. My name is Sylvia Sanchez. I am the board chair of the PAJARO Valley Chamber of Commerce and Agriculture. And welcome, everyone. We are very happy that you are here today. We are excited to partner again with the city of Watsonville to bring you the state of the city. And next, it's my pleasure to introduce Francisco Paco Estrada, our city mayor.
Thank you, Sylvia. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As Sylvia just mentioned, my name is Francisco Paco Estrada, and I have the absolute honor to serve my hometown as its mayor. And I'd like to welcome you all to our third annual State of the City address. Thank you for being here with us. As you know, I am but one of 7 individuals who has been entrusted by the public with safeguarding and strengthening our local democracy. I work with a remarkable group of individuals that love this community and have been gracious enough to not only be my peers, but my mentors. Thank you. I'd like to introduce each of them right now. And we'll start with the representative from District 1, Felipe Hernandez. Felipe, thank you for showing me the joy in politics. Representative from District 2, Mr. Aurelio Gonzalez. Aurelio, thank you for showing me what determination looks like. Our representative from District 3, Mr. Lowell Hurst. Lowell, I thank you for your wisdom. Our representative from District 5, Rebecca Garcia. Rebecca, I thank you for always fighting for what's right. Our representative from District 6, Trina Kaufman Gomez. Trina, I thank you for your strength. And last but not least, our representative from District 7, Ari Parker. Ari, thank you for showing me what leadership looks like with heart. And we also have distinguished guests with us today. We have Assembly Member Robert Rivas here with us. Thank you for joining us. We have Pajaro Valley Unified School District Superintendent, Dr. Michelle Rodriguez. We have former Watsonville Mayor, Dr. Nancy Bilicic. We have former Council Member Jimmy Dutra. And we have Judge Ari Simons with us. Thank you for being here. And I hope I didn't miss anyone. I'd also like to take a moment to thank our sponsors, our generous sponsors, the Pajaro Valley Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for always being a partner. And Pacific Coast Development. Thank you for your support. And so, it's been quite an interesting year, to say the least. And Mas Hashimoto, you guys obviously know who Mas is, right? He playfully sort of told me the other day that I shouldn't brag too much about Watsonville, right? It's our little secret, he said. And he's right. He really is right, because we're blessed. We're blessed to live in Watsonville. We're blessed to call this our home. And we're blessed to make this a better place. And so, you know, we have been working diligently to move forward and make Watsonville a healthier, a more inclusive, and a more engaged community. And even though we've accomplished quite a bit, we still have a long ways to go. But in the year that I've been here, we've worked on topics such as climate change, pedestrian safety, alcohol and tobacco consumption. We've worked on our parks and green spaces, our historic downtown area, Measure G, La Plaza, and we've worked to uphold our strategic plan, to stay true to what we said we would do and how we would serve the community of Watsonville. And I think we've done a pretty good job of also getting rid of that very, very old motto that we have, there's nothing to do in Watsonville. So, you know, even though we still have a lot to do, I do have to thank one other person, and that's all of you. That's the community of Watsonville. We cannot do any of this without your support and your help. And that includes our partners in the nonprofit sector, in philanthropy, our businesses, our students, our parents, the city staff, everyone. Everyone has a role to play. Everyone is playing their part. And they really are making a difference in this beautiful city. And because of them, we have a beautiful place where we can work, live, and raise our families. And now, I'd like to introduce our city manager, our gifted, our talented, our young city manager. And this is a man that I believe in. I believe in Matt. And I think that Matt has done a lot of good for our community. I think he has vision, he has leadership, and I know he will guide Watsonville in the 21st century. And so, without further ado, Mr. City Manager, Matt Huffaker.
Thank you, Mayor Estrada. It's been an honor serving with you as mayor this year. I do want to just point out for the record that I am 1 year younger than Mayor Estrada. And I can't promise that I won't do some bragging about Watsonville this evening, so get ready for that. I just want to start off by again thanking you for giving up part of your Wednesday evening, but you know, where else would you rather be on this beautiful 70-degree afternoon in October than at Civic Plaza? And I hope that your time will be worth it tonight. I would like to start off by acknowledging my leadership team and our directors here this evening as well. So if you don't mind standing up briefly when I call your name. Alan Smith, our city attorney, in the back. Tamara Vitas, deputy city manager, up front here. Beatrice Flores, our city clerk. Carol Heitzig, library director. Cindy Serwin, finance director. Dave Honda, chief of police. Nick Kalubaquib, PCS director. Rayvon Williams, airport director. Rex Boys, IT director. And Natalie Manning, deputy city manager. And Rudy Lopez, our fire chief, is not here this evening, but I want to recognize him as well. So again, so first off, thanks again for the opportunity to speak to you all tonight. I look forward to this night every year because it's my opportunity to really brag about Watsonville and the amazing work that all of our employees and our community partners are completing and making happen over the past year. Wanted to kick off this evening talking about budget because everybody loves budgets, right? So the city's total all funds budget for this year is about $166 million. About $75 million of that is made up of our Public Works and Utilities Department, which is made up of our operations, sewer, water, solid waste, all supported by ratepayers. The city's general fund represents about $45 million, and 75% of that goes directly towards our police and fire services. It's also important to note that in 2008, our general fund was about $36 million, right? So over the last 10-year period, you can see that our general fund is in a better position than it has been in about a decade. Of course, we have financial hurdles down the road, as everyone does, but we're in a stronger position than we have been in quite some time. I wanted to also zoom in and take a closer look at our general fund. You'll see our general fund revenues are supported by 4 key revenue sources. Those include a utility user tax, motor vehicle in lieu, which is just a fancy way of saying that the state is giving us property tax dollars back that they took about 15 years ago, property tax, and sales tax. I think it's also helpful to understand where those sales tax dollars are coming from. So here's a breakdown of the largest industries, with autos and transportation showing large increases in recent years, followed by building and construction and general consumer goods, followed by county online sales tax, which shows the sales tax we're collecting from all the purchases you're making on Amazon or Wayfair online, as well as restaurants and hotel industry. Now, while it's a good thing that we've had strong auto sales over the past few years, it's also important to point out that when we hit economic downturns, one of the first things to go is buying new cars, right? And when that happens, we have an immediate hit on our general fund operations. So this is just another example of why it's so important that we continue to diversify our economy and make sure that we're not overly reliant on just auto sales, although it's an important part of our revenue source. To look at it another way, here's a per capita snapshot of our total tax revenue per capita. As you can see, all in, we total about $446 per person, compared with Santa Cruz, which is nearly twice that amount, or Monterey, which is nearly 4 times that amount. That means that we have to be incredibly efficient and thoughtful about the use of our resources and ensuring that we're being as effective with our operations as possible. We don't have room to spare. And we're serving roughly the same size population and providing the same services and level of service that Santa Cruz does with much more resources. So our employees work very hard and work very efficiently to provide the services that you receive every day. I think it's also interesting to look at the breakdown of your property tax dollars. So when you pay that property tax bill every year, about 23 cents on the dollar go back directly to city services. About 42 cents on the dollar go to the school district, Pajaro Valley Unified School District, with the rest shared between the county, Cabrillo College, and a variety of special districts. So now I'd like to run you through the highlights and important work underway throughout all of our city departments. We're going to start with our largest department, our Public Works and Utilities Department, and we're going to start off with a quick video.
Public Works and Utilities operates and maintains nearly all city infrastructure while providing most of the city services that residents use daily. Public Works works day and night to replace more than 177 miles of water pipeline that are nearly 80 years old. It costs $1 million to replace 1 mile of pipeline. Public Works designs, constructs, and maintains city roadways and manages the traffic system to keep our town safely moving. At the city's wastewater treatment plant, 6 million gallons of wastewater are recycled daily and then used to irrigate 2,000 acres of crops in the Pajaro Valley. This year, they are developing a wastewater master plan to prioritize critical improvement projects needed. Public Works has also been repairing and replacing many sewer lines and manholes to ensure reliability. Their team works hard to keep our town clean and litter-free through proactive public education, our street sweeper, and targeted maintenance of wetland trails and the river levee. The Solid Waste Division has been working on implementing the new state mandate to reduce greenhouse gases that require food scraps recycling. They've collected more than 2,000 tons of food waste from businesses and schools that would otherwise go to the landfill. Next year, the solid waste team will develop and implement a pilot program for residential food scrap collection. Public Works keeps our town flowing, flushing, moving, and clean.
As a 150-year-old city, you can imagine that we have a lot of aging infrastructure, from roads to water pipes. And in fact, as you just heard, we have over 177 miles of water pipeline we're responsible for maintaining. Some of that is up to 80 years old. Our crew set an ambitious target every year of replacing over 3 miles of pipeline. It's no easy task. For the first time in nearly 2 decades, through SB1 gas tax and the local Measure D transportation tax that the community supported, has given us funding for the first time to catch up on aging infrastructure and a significant backlog we have on our road needs. You probably all feel it as you drive around town. I know that I notice it as well. And yes, this means that there's going to be more temporary construction detours and traffic delays, but hang in there, because it means that we're installing new crosswalks, we're constructing safer intersections, we're installing green bike lanes throughout town, and resurfacing streets. As part of this work, we have also hired an in-house street maintenance crew to help us get after some needed restriping and pothole repair around town. And some of the major projects coming down the road include the Freedom Boulevard resurfacing project, Green Valley Road, Airport Boulevard, and over 7 miles of road resurfacing. Watsonville has been a leader in environmental stewardship and advocacy, including recent efforts to eliminate the use of single-use plastics, and a major recent push to expand organics recycling, with over 50 businesses now participating. And of course, we continue to work closely with partners such as Watsonville Wetlands Watch on wetlands habitat and trail restoration work to preserve the beautiful sloughs and wetland waterways we all benefit from. If you haven't visited one of our libraries recently, you'll find that in addition to finding a great book, they've really developed into vibrant community gathering places. You might find it hard to believe, but we have over 587,000 visits to the libraries every year. 268,000 items are checked out, and over 694 programs are offered to children, teens, and adults over the course of the year. The library provides a wide range of programs and services, from providing a safe place for youth to work on their homework after school, to providing such programs as Anime Club to help with our youth's creativity. They're even known to provide a home brewing class from time to time, which is not part of the program for your average library. As we look to the future, the department is embarking on a 6-month strategic planning process focused on continuing their work as a vibrant community gathering place, and also be responsive to current and future community needs. Focus groups will be held over the course of the next year, and all of you will have an opportunity to weigh in on the future of our library services. One of the new efforts I'm really excited about is our new bibliovan, soon to hit the streets. Excuse the pun. So for those that don't have the ability or the time to make it down to one of our libraries, we're going to be bringing the library to you with this new outreach van. We're going to be starting with attending community events around town, with plans to eventually expand this to neighborhood visits when we have the opportunity. Oh.
Our parks and community.
I can't help but notice, okay, hold on one second. Sorry, all right, back on track. Hang in there with me. Our Parks and Community Services Department likes to refer themselves as the Department of Fun, and I have to agree. They've been hard at work maintaining over 26 parks, over 100 acres of parkland, and providing a wide range of recreation programs throughout the community. Here's a quick video to highlight some of that work.
Our Parks and Community Services Department is fundamental in ensuring that our community has spaces to exercise, play, and gather while improving quality of life. Our annual tree lighting ceremony is a community favorite. It brings community members to downtown to celebrate the beginning of the holiday season. Hundreds of people also gather in our historic downtown for our wine, beer, and art walk, where they discover our local businesses and what they have to offer. Every year, our airport puts together a 4th of July open house, bringing in thousands of people together for a spectacular fireworks display. This year, we celebrated our 25th annual Strawberry Festival with new activities and a kickoff party. The Strawberry Festival is a yearly tradition where families enjoy games, food, and great music to celebrate our local crop. National Night Out, our summer concerts, movie nights, and other events also take place throughout the year. Tapas on Top is our newest addition to these community building events. Event goers enjoy stunning sunset views of our city from the top level of the Civic Plaza parking garage while enjoying great food and music. Our Parks and Community Services Department is committed to making Watsonville a better place for everyone.
You know, I can't help but notice, but Councilmember Hurst always finds a way to dance in the State of the City videos. So, joined by Councilmember Gonzalez this year as well. So, nice moves. Parks and Community Services has been making major investments in greening our city. I'm not talking about cannabis, but we'll be talking about that here shortly. And that includes 2 urban greening and urban forestry grants this year. These grants will enhance citywide pedestrian and bicycle enhancements along our trails and parks. It'll also include planting over 400 new trees. And a lot of those trees have already been underway. You may have noticed some of those along Loney Parkway and Main Street, as well as a new trail connector between the Watsonville Slough Trail and Ramsey Park. So we're excited about those projects. As we continue to catch up on capital projects placed on hold during the Great Recession, our community centers and parks are getting some much needed improvements. This includes new interior and exterior painting and flooring at the Ramsey Community Center. And you can see a picture of it up there. The new flooring looks beautiful, including new restrooms at Ramsey Park and new landscaping along the long-anticipated Bridge Street medians that I know some of you are excited about. Also, earlier this year, Parks and Community Services launched several long-range planning efforts. These include master plans for Civic Plaza and Ramsey Park. You may have heard something about these, as well as refreshing their strategic plan, which will be charting the future course of park and recreation programs over the next 10 years. A final master plan for Civic Plaza was approved by the City Council earlier this summer, with plans to add a permanent stage, new restrooms, additional seating, and contrary to what you may have heard out in the community, plans to restore, not replace the bandstand, just for the record. We're excited about that work. We're really fortunate in Watsonville to have a vibrant and talented community of local artists, and efforts are underway to encourage more public art projects in the community through the establishment of a more formal public art program, and plans to also, down the road, establish an in lieu public art program that'll support the creation of more public art in the community. We have a lot of local talented artists. A lot of that work often ends up occurring in other parts of the county or outside of Watsonville. We'd like to tap into that talent and have more public art projects in the community that we can all benefit from. This year, the city has also partnered with Community Arts and Empowerment to create Watsonville's first youth center for the arts at Museo Park, including plans to complete one of the largest mosaic murals in the country in downtown Watsonville. What's really special about this project is it will engage all of our local artists to help develop the designs for the mosaics that will go on the building. And this is really a once in a lifetime project, so I'd encourage you to be part of this and engage in it if you're interested. This summer, we started a new season of partnerships with PAJARO Valley Unified School District, starting with the management of the Henry J. Mello Center for the Performing Arts. The Parks and Community Services Department has assumed day-to-day management of the center outside of school operating hours, and we're working closely with the district in our joint efforts to ensure that this community gem is being used to its full potential. We kicked off this new partnership last month with an internationally renowned group of performers known as Mexico and El Corazon to a packed house, and we wanted to share a quick snippet of the excellent performance. I said it would be quick. I tried to attempt some of the knife dancing I saw on the show, and I wouldn't recommend it. So as you saw in the video earlier, PCS is also responsible for the many great community events we offer, from Tapas on Top to the summer concert series in the Plaza. This summer, we concluded the concert series with bringing the Santa Cruz Symphony to the Plaza for the first time. And they had the opportunity to play alongside our local youth and school bands. It was a really special night. And finally, just last week, the city took a big step in strengthening and expanding the future of older adult services in Watsonville, with the creation of a new city-run older adult services division in our Parks and Rec department. This is really the largest investment we have made in senior services, and it's aimed at creating an inclusive, and forward-looking program for our community's seniors, who, if you didn't know it, represent our fastest growing population in Watsonville. If you didn't know, we have an airport in Watsonville. If you ever want to learn more about it, Rayvon Williams, our airport director, would be happy to give you some time. He's very passionate about his role. Established after World War II, the Watsonville Municipal Airport has served as a transportation and commercial hub for over half a century. Today, believe it or not, it has over 55,000 takeoffs and landings every year off the airport. A common theme across all of our operations, the airport has been working proactively to complete major infrastructure upgrades at the airport, including recently closing both the primary and crosswind runways for 6 days as part of a large runway rehabilitation project. That's no small effort for a 24/7 small municipal airport. But they actually completed the project early, on time, and it was all funded by a $1.2 million grant from the FAA. Earlier this year, the airport team also commissioned a public mural to highlight the Kids Fly Free program offered to young people ages 8 to 17 by the Experimental Aircraft Association. And this is a really cool program that gives our local youth that may have never had an opportunity to go up in a plane to come down to the airport and see Watsonville from the air. So it's a great program, and it's been running for several years. And because life is too short not to have a little fun, the airport's also a great place to jump out of a perfectly good airplane, but most importantly, live to talk about it. We've got a great skydiving business out of the airport if you're interested. In addition to the work happening across our departments, the city team has also been working on a number of special initiatives I wanted to share with you. The first being an internal effort around employee engagement. As a service-based organization, we can't accomplish anything without the work of our talented and dedicated employees. We want Watsonville to be a great place with great people, and the services we provide to the community should be reflective of that culture. As part of this work, we worked with our employees across all of our departments to also develop a new mission statement, which is working with our community to create positive impact through service with heart. And I hope you all feel that as you interact with our employees and receive services from our departments. And because our IT department are often our unsung heroes, I wanted to also show them some love by highlighting a lot of the work that they're doing to harden our infrastructure and really bring our organization into the 21st century. Many of you know that you really can't go to work and get much done if you don't have the support of your IT department. They've been putting in major efforts to modernize our infrastructure, harden our networks to ensure your data is secure, and they're underworks now to do a large network security assessment to make sure we're not having to worry about things like ransomware, which has been a major problem across the nation for cities big and small. Community engagement is another special initiative we've been working on aimed at engaging the community in the work the city is doing in a deeper and more meaningful way, and at the same time grow the community's future civic leaders. These initiatives include the city's first Watsonville Academy, which provides an opportunity for 28 community members to get a deeper look at our city operations. We also recently completed the second successful year of Summer in the City. Offered in partnership with the school district, it gave local juniors and seniors the opportunity to learn career and college readiness skills, as well as on-job internship opportunities, both in city and district positions. The third initiative has been focused on improving pedestrian safety, and you heard some of this earlier from Mayor Francisco as well. Unfortunately, Watsonville has been consistently ranked as one of the unsafest communities for pedestrian and bicyclists for a city of our size in the entire state of California, and this has now been several years running. I personally find that statistic unacceptable, and the following video will give you a sample of some of the efforts that our city council and our city departments are doing to change that trend, along with some of our community partners.
Traffic and pedestrian safety have been an area of concern and focus for the city of Watsonville for several years. Unfortunately, Watsonville is not the only community facing this growing challenge. Despite many proactive and focused efforts, our community continues to experience unacceptable rates of pedestrian injuries and fatalities. There are many contributing factors to these incidents, including speeding, pedestrians not using crosswalks or sidewalks, distracted driving, or low visibility in lighting. As part of these efforts, we started a marketing campaign to educate our community on the importance of pedestrian and traffic safety. New sidewalk signage and banners were hung along Main Street, Freedom, and Airport Boulevard. Articles on the importance of traffic and pedestrian safety are included in our monthly Our Town newsletter, as well as our social media account. Our police department has also increased their patrol and enforcement of distracted drivers throughout Watsonville. They have also increased their DUI checkpoints to discourage people from driving while under the influence. There is a need to reestablish assured ownership and responsibility in our community for ensuring our safety and the safety of those around us. This campaign has been a group effort, and we invite you to be part of the change by being a responsible driver, cyclist, or pedestrian.
As part of the pedestrian safety education campaign you just heard about, we also partnered with local artists to include a pedestrian safety focus in this year's Movable Murals public art project at City Hall. You can see these murals across the street. This is one of them, really beautifully done. There are two others as well, and I encourage you to check them out. But to put a finer point on it, this heat map illustrates areas in town that have the highest incidence of pedestrian and bicycle accidents and deaths. I use this map to emphasize that it will really take the entire community working together to solve this problem. It's not something that the city can do on its own. It's going to take all of us. Now, switching gears to some fun stuff, let's spend some time talking about all of the development activity happening in town. Here's a quick video to get us started.
The Community Development Department continues to take the lead in attracting new business for the city and creating solutions to the statewide housing crisis, having completed various housing projects, with others in the planning and building phases. Overall, 443 units will be completed in the next few years. Affordable housing projects like single-family homes, townhomes, and apartments continue to be a priority for the city. Business is also booming. Watsonville has been experiencing great growth with various commercial developments taking place throughout the city. The Lee Road project is looking great with the Hampton Inn construction moving along smoothly. Coffeyville and Fruition Brewing are two new great additions to the Eastlake Shopping Center. The Hangar project by the airport is also experiencing great success. Beer Mule has been open for months now, and Zameen's and Mr. Z's Crepes and Teas will be opening soon, as well as other businesses. Togo's is nearing completion and will be an amazing addition to our historic downtown. As part of Target's recent remodeling project, the county's only electric supercharging station was built here in Watsonville. This charging station paves the way to a cleaner and greener future.
So the Lee Road project, as you just saw in the video, will include 194 hotel rooms, a new gas station and car wash, 4 restaurants, 3 retail stores, and a second hotel in the pipeline, and is well underway. Housing costs and availability continue to pose a major threat to our community's quality of life, not just here locally, but really throughout California, but it's especially true in the greater Bay Area. Watsonville has been a leader in the region in approving a range of new housing types, with a total of 443 in recent years, either in the pipeline or under construction, and 170 of those being affordable units. After much anticipation over the past year, our development staff has been working closely with the school district on the approval of the sports field, now under construction. And we're working with the school district team as well on the upcoming addition of the auditorium, which will round out these much needed improvements at PV High, filling some critical needs for our community that are long overdue. PAJARO Valley Parent and Student Assistance, also known by many as PVPSA, has been supporting families in the community for over 25 years and is again investing in the community with a new center under development along East Lake Avenue that's opening soon. You may have seen it under construction. As many of you have probably heard, Staff of Life is coming to the East Lake Shopping Center. It's the most recent addition along with several other improvements in the shopping center. They're currently in the process of planning approvals, and they're shooting for a construction start in the spring, hoping to be open by late 2020. We're also excited to announce another major investment in the downtown area at 558 Main Street with the planned addition of The Residence, a 75-unit residential and commercial mixed-use project by Pacific Coast Development. The project will provide 36 studios, 31 one-bedroom, and 8 two-bedroom apartments with 20 affordable units. They have also secured a Japanese sushi restaurant as one of their first commercial tenants on the ground floor. I think it'll be a great addition to downtown. And for those pizza fans out there, and who isn't, myself included, local brothers Brando and Chris will be breathing new life into the historic Fox Theater with the Slice Project and Craft Brewery opening later this year. Now we can talk a little bit about cannabis. So in 2017, the council permitted 6 cannabis cultivation and 9 manufacturing facilities in Watsonville. Many of these businesses have now been successfully operating in the city over the past 2 years, including companies such as Sensichew and the Veterans Alliance. In the coming months, we will be working to update the city's cannabis regulations to align with the state's new rules, as well as reviewing options for the expansion of existing businesses and bringing the question to the City Council of whether to allow for retail sale and delivery. Revenues originally were falling short of projections, but have been starting to grow, excuse the pun again, now generating over $400,000 per year. Now let's talk a little bit about the oldest fire station west of the Mississippi. At least that's what I've been told. Is that true? You guys know? One of them. Okay, well put. In 2018, with the help of Measure G, the department was able to start replacing its aging fleet and safety equipment, including the replacement of 2 fire engines and a ladder truck. The purchase of an auto vehicle locator for more efficient dispatching to emergencies, and the replacement of protective clothing. These were all long overdue investments in our department. When you have the time, I'd encourage you to stop by any one of our fire stations to see these new engines up front and meet one of our firefighters. The fire department has also been working towards modernizing our life-saving equipment with new tools like thermal imaging cameras that can help our firefighters find people and pets in cases of fire, as well as updating other technology like new heart rate monitors. Our men and women in the fire department have been keeping very busy, responding to over 5,200 calls for service in 2018. This graph also helps illustrate how fire services have really evolved over the last 25 years. So that tall bar you see there represents over 3,800 calls of service for emergency medical response. And you can contrast that with the 79 structure fires that our crews responded to over the last year. It really emphasizes the fact that our fire department is the front line of defense for emergency services in the community. This year, the fire department also launched a new program aimed at introducing our community's youth to the fire service with the first ever Fire Youth Academy. The inaugural class included 14 local high schoolers and had the opportunity to have a hands-on experience and see what it's like to be a firefighter. Now let's talk a little bit about our police department. Under the leadership of Chief Honda, and through a strong emphasis on community policing and engagement, we've seen positive trends across the board on overall crime rates, with Watsonville now being one of the safest communities in the region. As you can see, total crime is down 9%, person crime is down almost 18%, property crime is down almost 30%, and know that large spike there is not a result of a run on liquor stores. That's a result of focused and deliberate additional DUI enforcement. You saw that in the video earlier. So through the Department of Justice grants, we've been very successful in increasing enforcement in that area, so much so that the DOJ granted a second grant 2 years in a row, which is very rare for a city to receive. We have also seen an overall decrease in violent crimes throughout the community, with homicides flat, decrease in robberies and assaults, and a slight uptick in rapes last year, but still below the 3-year high. Property crime rates have also continued to decrease over the last year, with burglaries, theft, vehicle theft, and arson all showing large decreases from the prior year. And as I noted earlier, traffic injuries and fatalities have been an ongoing challenge for us. While traffic injuries have gone down this year so far, you can see that fatalities have held flat at 2 deaths in last year and this year. It's still a number that we think is unacceptable, and it's going to continue to be an area of major focus for us going forward. 1 death is too many. Staffing is another bright spot for the department. At a time that many cities are struggling to hire and hold on to their officers, for the first time in many years, the department is at full staffing. Not just at full staffing, we actually have a waiting list of officers that are interested in joining our department, and that is a true testament of the department we have and the positive culture that others want to be part of. And through a focused marketing effort, we've had several new female officers join the department as well, which is adding to the diversity of our force. Now, this is an effort I'm really excited to talk about. Going on its 3rd year, our police department has participated in the Pink Patch Project. It's an initiative focused on raising funds to support local families affected by breast cancer. As part of this effort, you may have seen the pink police cruiser driving around town. And how many police departments have a pink police cruiser? Come on. I think that's a testament to the large heart of our officers. And this year, I'm really excited that already the department has raised more than the last 2 years combined, with over $15,000 raised for local families. If Chief Honda was up here, he would say that that deserves a round of applause, and I would agree. Now let's take a look ahead at some other initiatives that are coming down the road. We have several fall and holiday community events on the horizon. First, our annual tree lighting ceremony will take place in November. And I was at Costco last week. I noticed they're already selling Christmas trees, so, buckle up, here we go. This year, we will also bring back Snow Day, and we're trying something special this year for the event. We're going to be offering the first hour will be reserved for children with special needs in the community. And of course, the annual factory sale is always a community favorite. Every 10 years, communities nationwide complete an updated census count. Census 2020 is just around the corner, and nearly $675 billion in federal funding annually is allocated based on census counts. Census data also determines grant funding, political districts, and local funding allocations. We know that Watsonville has been historically undercounted, and I can't overstate that all of our community members count and need to be counted to ensure that Watsonville gets its fair share of resources going forward. In addition to the many long-range planning efforts underway across our departments, we also recently kicked off a downtown-specific plan. This effort is aimed at charting a future vision for our historic downtown, including preserving the character of what makes downtown Watsonville special, while unlocking the untapped potential for a downtown to be a bustling, mixed-use hub for our community to gather. Decisions will include what type of development our community wants to see and where, what type of businesses and activities they want to encourage, and how we can encourage more housing to be developed in the downtown area. This will be a 2-year planning effort with many opportunities for the community to participate. I encourage all of you to engage and get involved in these efforts as opportunities come. The Complete Streets Plan has been a 2-year effort to collect community input also on the future of our downtown transportation needs, including the future of Main Street. You may have heard something about this. There's strong opinions on the topic. This fall, the council will provide final direction on the plan, with the next steps including a comprehensive traffic study of the downtown area. And this plan really dovetails well with the downtown specific plan we're working on as we look at a future vision of downtown and Main Street. Part of the plan elements include adding more parking, adding bike lanes, creating wider sidewalks, and allowing for more outdoor eating and more pedestrian-friendly amenities. Our Public Works and Utility Department is also working on a wastewater master plan. This will be a comprehensive assessment of all of our treatment plant facilities and sewer pump stations. As part of this work, we'll prioritize critical improvements to maintain a reliable conveyance and treatment of city's wastewater. If you've never visited our water treatment plant, it's a pretty cool field trip. I'd encourage you not to do it on a warm day and make sure you're not standing downwind. But outside of that, the plant is pretty neat to see. For many years, the city has been working with our neighboring jurisdictions to champion much needed improvements to our large levee network along the PAJARO River. We are now working with our partners in Monterey and Santa Cruz County towards forming a joint powers financing authority aimed at raising funds to get the levees built after many years of trying, ensuring that the community will be better protected during major storm events and flood events in the future. So you'll be hearing a lot more about that as we move forward. As we wrap up our time together, I would be remiss not to talk about Measure G and the important impact it's had in our community. A few years ago, Watsonville was struggling with rising crime rates and gang incidents. And in 2014, residents came together to approve Measure G. It was aimed at reducing gang activity and crime, keeping youth safe and on the right track, improving neighborhood police patrols, and supporting fire and paramedic 911 response services. The results speak for themselves. Measure G funding has helped drop crime rates and gang activity to the lowest of any city in our region, and has really had unprecedented impact on the overall safety of our entire community. Local funds have allowed our police department to hire 6 more officers and build a closer relationship with our community. This local resource also supports crime prevention and intervention programs such as our Police Activities League. Measure G funds also represent about 11% of our fire department's total budget. It's no small number. This resource allowed our fire department to upgrade outdated fire engines, acquire new life-saving equipment, and Measure G funds helped hire additional firefighters that provide more opportunity for cross-training, reducing overtime costs. As part of the measure, there is also a citizen oversight committee that reviews all Measure G funding to ensure that it is spent on voter-approved priorities only. This oversight committee has confirmed that all public safety funds have been spent effectively and as promised in a transparent way. Measure G funding will expire soon unless renewed by voters. This month, the City Council is considering a renewal of the half-cent sales tax measure for the March 2020 election. A renewal measure would maintain after-school and summer programs to keep youth safe and out of trouble, support anti-gang and youth violence prevention programs, including the Police Activities League, maintain life-saving 911 fire and paramedic emergency response services, and continue those neighborhood police patrols. And with that, we wanted to end with a quick video.
Rising crime rates, gun violence, and alarming gang activity are a thing of the past. Making Watsonville safe has been Measure G's focus over the past 5 years to help fight gangs and crime, support efforts to keep youth safe and on the right track, improve neighborhood police patrols, and also support fire and paramedic emergency response. Because of Watsonville voters, this local funding has been beneficial and successful. Watsonville now has some of the lowest crime rates and gang incidents in the region. With ongoing growth population, Measure G funding has helped our firefighters, paramedics, and police officers respond to life-threatening emergencies safely. Measure G made it possible to purchase 2 new fire engines and a fire truck, as well as protective equipment to keep firefighters safe. This local funding has also equipped Watsonville police officers with updated vehicles, bulletproof vests and equipment, as well as training opportunities to help keep our communities safe. Measure G also helps maintain after-school and summer programs to help keep local youth safe and out of trouble. In recent years, the source of local funding supports anti-gang and youth violence prevention efforts, the Police Activities League, and several youth diversion programs. We now leave it in the hands of 2020 voters to continue making Watsonville safe.
And that ends our time together tonight. Thanks again for spending some time with us this evening to talk about what's happening in Watsonville. I've been told that there's free wine and food next door for a reception, so please join us.